Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Just Thinking. I'm Lana.
And I'm Michaela. So today we are going to be talking about things that we live by. We have had a couple of crazy last episodes.
Very hectic.
Little hectic, but we're back better than ever. So we're just going to start. This is kind of based off of the TikTok trend, by the way, where it's
Things I could go on and on for hours.
yeah,
about.
things I can talk about for hours, things that I live by, whatever. So just so you have the general idea. So we're going to start because we have a lot to talk about.
Okay, should we just start with the one that we...
Yeah.
Okay, the butterfly effect. Okay, this whole podcast could just be on the butterfly effect.
It could be.
It is my favorite thing to talk about, and I feel like it's such an interesting thing because you could say one thing about it, but then there would just be that's just not enough. You have to go on and on about this.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I could literally give a whole story time about last year, and I also want to tie in the butterfly effect to how sometimes it does have to get worse before things in your life can get better.
And also it relates to everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. So basically,
this is a wow.
I'm going to give a story time because and I'm going to use fruit names. Shout out to Triple Threat. They also did that during their story time. So basically, I don't know if you can even say talking, but I was kind of talking to this kid named Apple, and it kind of caused some drama between me and one of my close friends. We're gonna call her Orange. So Orange and I got into a little bit of an argument, and my other friend who was close friends with me and Orange, she's still close with Orange, but we're not really close anymore. But anyways, my other close friend, we're gonna call her Lemon, okay? So Orange and Lemon were kind of you've changed, we don't like this version of you. And I didn't think I was changing, I was just trying new things. So Apple, it was Apple. Right?
Apple was the guy.
Apple was the first guy that I ever I guess really had a thing with. So anyways, that caused drama. And it caused some arguments and some bad things happened. But eventually, I'm not going to go into the specifics because it was rough. But anyways, going further on with that whole situation. So then, I feel weird, not saying the names, but I know I can't. I just keep on getting mixed up. So basically, there was this whole big issue between me and Orange, and it kept on going on, and it kept on going on between me and Orange's friend group, and it just caused a lot of drama. Anyways, so eventually there was this time that I went out, and there was this boy who liked me there. We're gonna call him
Mango.
No, Cucumber.
Oh,
that's because that's the emoji I had next to his contact name. I don't want to explain. Anyways, so we're gonna call him Cucumber. Cucumber and I, we were hanging out, but nothing happened. And so Cucumber and I, then it was okay, it's time to go. My mother's here, so we're gonna leave. And then he got a girlfriend, and now I'm blocked on Snap from him. But it's okay. Anyways, so then I'm convinced because Cucumber and I didn't do anything. We're going to name him Mango now. I've, started hanging out with this kid named Mango. And I found a whole good friend group from Mango. He started, taking me to hang out with his friends. And now I'm, close with all of them. And I still talk to Orange and Lemon sometimes, but we're not as close. But it was, a rough period of time for me, Orange and Lemon, and I always, will appreciate them and, them helping me become the person that I am today. But I feel like different people are going to be in different periods of your life. And, they were no longer meant to be in my life is what I believe. And now I found a different group of friends that I appreciate and enjoy being around. So it got pretty bad, but now it's better.
Butterfly effect. I also have a story that my story kind of ties in with the everything happens for a reason.
We can talk about that too.
We could, like, yeah.
That'll be our next topic.
Oh, am I going to use code names too?
Yeah, let's go. You can do vegetables.
Honestly, I don't even need code names because I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory. Basically, my freshman year, I feel like everyone goes through a period of time where you're just like you're just like trying out different personalities. Yeah, and you're like new experiences. So freshman year, I had this little thing for a guy.
We're gonna call him Tomato.
Tomato. And basically, like, I'm gonna admit it was really weird. Like, the things that were done, the things that were said, the things that happened, like, it was just really weird. And I feel like, but in the moment, I didn't know it was weird because it was like my first real like thing in the first time.
It was new
like,
to you.
It was new to me. And also, like, in the moment, I feel like you don't really realize what's going on. Like, you kind of have to like wait to process everything. But moral of the story, fast forward a year and a half later, almost 2 years, I feel like I've definitely took that experience, used it as a learning lesson, even though sometimes I still do some stupid things.
She sometimes goes down the wrong path, but
it's okay.
She has that to come back and remind
yes,
her.
But I think about that situation. I think about the things I've done. I use that to help my friends who are going through similar things. Like, it's kind of just like being able to like have that experience as like a guideline and kind of as my like, what's the word for this? Like,
blueprint.
Yes, my blueprint for like how I could grow from what happened before. Because honestly, I feel like that experience like
Humbling.
altered. Yeah,
Humbling.
It was humbling, but it also like helped me in a way. Like, it made me who I am now, and like I feel like it's made me better because it's just changing. You know,
it's just like there's like certain situations like I think that go into everybody's life, and it's like, why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. But at the end of the day, like, you have to think to yourself, you know, like, maybe something good can come out of this. Because when I had, like, a lot of the problems that I had in the story I just explained, I was like, why is this happening to me? My life is terrible. It's never going to get better. Like, what am I going to do? And, like, it has gotten better. And so, I don't know. I think everything does happen for a reason. Things do get better. And that goes to the next topic, unless you want to add anything real quick.
No, I don't have to add anything.
You can't heal unless you feel.
Don't mention this to me. Do not.
So
wait, I actually have something that like relates to that, where it's kind of like the forgiving but not forgetting. Like, you know that saying that everyone says. I think we could tie this into each other. Okay,
so
you go first.
It's like, obviously, I think everyone goes through bad stuff in their life. Like, you can't avoid it. Like, you know, everyone goes through their problem. It's bound to happen. And I think that, you know, people are just so quick to be like, oh, it's fine. Like, I can just move on. And like, you know, like, I just need time and then it'll get better. But I think you have to come to terms with your emotions and your actions, the things you have done wrong.
And you need like time to heal.
And admit to yourself, like, listen, I was at fault in this situation. I can change and do this, 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 and this. And I know for future experiences to watch out for when something like this is happening. Like, the red flags that were presented to me in this situation that hurt me and maybe led me to hurt someone else, I can like learn from that now and think, when I'm in another situation like that, oh, well, I should address this so that it doesn't blow up the way my last situation did. And I think Ivy and Frank Ocean is a good way of feeling to
stop
heal.
mentioning that song to me. Oh my. Okay, I have another topic. So basically, this is like the effect words or like situations have on you, especially in a school setting. This is like mostly coming from personal experience because also freshman year, very traumatic freshman year, there was a time where like, honestly, like I could say like the whole school, like majority of the school had things to say about me. And like, honestly, I think to this day, like I like I feel like there is some people who like still like say stuff about me, which is normal. It's high school, whatever. But
I mean, it happens when you're grown too, though. Like, not everyone can
yeah,
like
not
you.
everyone likes
People
you.
pleasing is
But-
exhausting.
But this is like a different situation. I'm talking about how, like, looking back on it, even though like I've definitely grown and like I don't care that much like at all. But like sometimes when you think about like certain things that people have said or done that you were like blind to at the moment, like for example, if like me and Michaela are hanging out and like I say some really messed up thing to her and she just goes along with it, and then like she would realize like in a few months being like, wow, that was really messed up of her. Like, why would she say that? It's kind of like that. But the reason I'm saying it's heavy on a school like setting is because like I feel like especially in high school, like when one person says something, everyone goes with it. And it's like everyone believes them. And it's just like it's so easy to make stuff up and it's so easy to like ruin someone's reputation.
It is.
So I bring that up because I just feel like if people were more aware of what they were saying and what they were doing and how it affected people's feelings, and just like if they were in their shoes, like how would you feel? Which I know that's like a saying that was said in like first grade, like put yourself in their shoes.
Okay,
but like
no,
it's
but
serious.
like it's right.
Yeah.
It's like it's real, because the thing is, like, I feel like everyone is so quick to assume, oh, like they'll just take it as a joke. Like, I think it's funny, like even if it's kind of passive aggressive. But like when you think about it, it's like, damn, like that was really, I want to say,
hurtful, like.
but you know, that word I can't say, but I think everyone is, you know, kind of guessing it, thinking it. And I don't know. I think like it's a matter of confronting people, because I'm the type of person that does not confront someone until I really, really have to.
I'm so opposite.
Yeah. Fire sign versus water sign. I do not confront someone until like I have to. And, you know, I'll literally bottle up my emotions and just be like, well, I can't believe they said this to me, but like I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to work past it. But like in reality, like, you know, that doesn't really work. And this is going to bring me to my next point. Sorry can't fix everything.
OMG.
And like we can kind of tie in to like actions speak louder.
That's
than
what I was
words
just about
with
to say.
this.
You just like took the words out of my mouth. Actions
Telepathy.
speak louder. That was my number one on my list. Actually, we're reading off a list by
in
the
our
way.
notes app. Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. I think that someone coming to you and apologizing, but then repeating the thing that they're doing and no change is done, is like the stupidest thing. Yeah. I think that I would rather have someone like, instead of like, if I'm really frustrated in the situation and like you're just coming to say sorry to me just because like you have to and not because you want to, I feel like we could also talk about that. Like that's like, I can't even find words to describe like, how that's like.
Asking someone to apologize to you, I'm sorry, it's so stupid, because if they did not think, and I've done this before, but if they did not think to apologize to you and you had to ask them, they are not sorry. Like, I am very passionate about this. And also the fact that sorry does not fix everything, because there's been so many situations for me where I've gotten into an argument with some of my closest friends, like the people who I would call my best friends. And, you know, at the time I was so determined to like recover my relationships with them and be like, this will get better. But it got to the point where like we just kept on like butting heads, and like our actions, my actions, they'd be like, well, I don't like when you did this. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. And then I'd be like, and I don't like when you did that. And, you know, like we always told each other, oh, we'll change, like we'll recover, you know, and we'll get our friendship back good again. And it never happened, because we didn't necessarily change our actions, because we were both changing as people. And I feel like in different times in your life, different people suit you. Like, not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. Some people are just put in your life to teach you lessons. And I think like when it gets to the point where like your actions don't change, sorry is played through, like it's time to say to yourself, they're not serving purpose in my life it's sad, but it's time to cut them off.
Yeah. I also something that like I also like think about a lot is like when people like say sorry, like I would say sorry for a situation that I'm not in the wrong in. Like someone else is in the wrong and like I'm apologizing for them because you are so scared to lose them. And you are like so scared that like it's also like, I don't want to say like gaslighting, but like it is.
That I was going to talk about that. I was going to bring that up. Telepathy again. Manipulation is really difficult to realize.
So hard.
Because especially when you're like with your like really close friends, like
it's like people you're like, oh, I could trust them. Like they're never going to do me wrong. Like they're my number one person. Yeah. That's the people who are always going to do it to you. It's always the worst. Always.
And there's the term where it's like love blind or whatever, like love blinds or whatever. I really think that like that's true because like, you know, your closest friends, like obviously like you love them, like you would do anything for them. But when they do you wrong, sometimes you just dismiss it and think like, oh, well, you know, we had this memory and they just did this for me last week. Like they got me lunch the other day. Like
I feel like personally what I do, like I've noticed, I've done this before, is like I would be like, okay, well, one bad thing doesn't equal all the good things they've done. And like I keep saying that until the bad things like are way more than the amount of good things that they've done.
Yeah, they outweigh the good things, but you're like, oh, but they did more good things.
It's fine because
you're in like denial.
This. Yeah, because you're like, again, like you're scared to lose them. Like you don't want to, you have a fear of losing them.
Exactly. And that's going to bring to the next point. You cannot stress over things you can't control.
I think, honestly, I'm a firm believer of like, once again, everything happens for a reason, but also my mindset, it's just been this year. Like this is, I don't know how I came up with this mindset, but it's just like in 2 years, not even 2 years. Yeah. What? 2 years. 2 years we're going to be in college. We're going to be in college in 2 years. Am I really going to be sitting in like my dorm room thinking about what someone has done to me in high school when I was like 16 years old? Like, no, like there's no reason for you to stress over it if it does not have the most like dramatic effect on your life, which honestly most scenarios don't. Like it's not that deep, which
I mean, like it's easier said than done because obviously when you're in the situation,
I'm guilty of like doing it, but it's just like I feel like being able to come and realize that like this is what's happening, like you should be able to like
when you're in the situation, it's like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like I want to rip my hair out, and then it's like looking back at it, it's like this is so stupid.
It's so dumb. This goes to my next point where everyone copes and deals with stuff in their own way. And like I actually have examples here. Like some people like to be alone. Some people like to like just cry it out. Some people like bottle it up. I feel like that's like a really important topic because like I feel like sometimes people don't realize that like people are doing this certain thing to cope with something that they may be going through because everyone goes through something. Like, oh my God, what's that saying? Where it's like, oh my gosh, I think I have it written down. There's like a saying for this where, you never know what some people are going through.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know why I just blanked out on that. But you never know what someone's going through. So like, I feel like the way that people cope say a lot about how that person is. Yeah. Like, for example, personally, my coping method is like, I need to rant it out to someone or else that is my only way of processing it. Like it could be months later and I would still just need to tell someone like every single detail just so like personally I could process it and I could be able to like realize what's going on. I also recently like I think crying is so therapeutic. And it's like
okay, but crying in front of people makes me get worse.
Crying in front of people like I will never do. But like when I'm like alone in my room and I actually start to like get overwhelmed, sometimes like when I'm crying, it's just like the stress is like going away with the tears.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I like bottle it up and try to push it in the back of my mind. And then I just like break and I rant to everyone. I'm like, they did this and they did this. And I'm so done with everyone. I'm never coming back to this school. And people definitely think I'm crazy for that. They're probably like, who is this girl? Like people have definitely walked in on me like ranting to Lana in the bathroom being like, I can't believe she did this.
But
She's
our rants are
stupid.
so funny. Like, I think
people have walked in on us.
You could be on the 3rd floor and you would still hear our rants. We are screaming 24/7 in the bathrooms. Any minor convenience, I would get like a 98 on my test, and Michaela would be the first one to hear me screaming from across the hallway.
No, because literally there was this one time I was so mad, and I think Lana texted me something, and she was like, yeah, like this is going on right now, like come to the bathroom, I have to show you something. And I'm literally on the floor, I'm losing my mind, and I'm like, I can't believe she did this.
They're just like staring at us, and I'm like,
a teacher walked in and was like, what is happening? And then she was like, F them.
Like I was showing her screenshots. I was showing you screenshots as you're like laying on the floor. I'm like, look at what this was. I was
like, no, I don't want to hear it. I was so mad. And then a teacher walked in, and actually she gave really good advice. She was like, they're not worth your time. And she basically said, like, worrying about people like in high school, it's so stupid. You're not going to see these people ever later on. Yeah. And I mean, that's true. And she was also just saying, like, you know, like, you got to figure it out, and you have to find your good friends. And she was like, and Lana's clearly one of your good friends because she's here for you.
Because I was just thinking of my next topic, and like the second you said that, it just came to me.
Stop.
Okay, this is like kind of controversial, but like it's not in a way. But I do not think anyone can be trusted.
No, I disagree. I think trust is earned.
Yes, but at the same time, there is no one who is perfect.
Yes, you can never fully trust someone.
Yes, that's what I
agree with that. But trust is earned in my eyes.
Yeah. Like Michaela, like I tell Michaela everything, like a little too much sometimes. Like she gets all the details.
We both tell each other a little too much sometimes. I get the graphics.
But the thing is, like, there could be a time, like, who knows? Maybe me and Michaela get into a huge fight.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. But you
Fingers
never
crossed.
know. Fingers crossed. But you never know. Like maybe she's gonna take everything I said and like just go and tell people, because I've had situations like that happening to me, and maybe that is just like trust issues and it's not like a universal experience. Well, but I just think that it is very hard to find someone that you could 100% trust and who is always going to be there.
I don't think you can ever fully trust someone once you go through a situation where trust is broken between you and someone you were close to. Like I can like 99.9% trust someone, but there's always like that 0.01% where it's like, absolutely not. I'm not telling them this. And like, I think my friends have seen
I'll tell them, but not too much detail.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm super vague, and they're like, explain, and I'm like, no,
it's okay.
It's okay.
You don't need to know.
I'm gonna pass.
Okay, do you have the
so I just think that like it's a matter of like building up trust. And for me personally, like when someone starts putting trust in me and like showing me things, like telling me things that they wouldn't normally tell most people, I get so much more comfortable when like someone else takes that first like little reach
step.
And then I'll start giving them stuff that like I know some people know that if it gets out, it's not the end of the world. But I think it's a matter of building up, and I think that's how it is with friendships too. So for our next point, I'm really passionate about this, and this kind of goes with like the trusting thing. And I'm going to shout out 21 Savage, because this is a lyric in Ball Without You, literally my all-time favorite song. Loyalty and love are not the same. I am like so passionate about this topic. So listen, like literally you can love someone and it's like, you know,
like would die for them, do
anything for them. But there's times like, I mean, I've gone through this situation myself. Like there are people that I loved like so much, and I still care for them deeply, but you know, we butt heads, and there was a time, we kind of lost contact for the most part, but there was a time where, we were like, oh, I love you. Like I would do anything for you after our arguments. And then when we would turn around and be like, well, she said this, 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 and this. And like, she's like a terrible person. Like she's just like, like, I don't like her. Like she's horrible. She's like stuff like that. And it was like, obviously, it was bad. And cause we were always like, oh, I love you so much. I'd like do anything for you. And then we're turning around and we're like, oh, like I hate her. And it's kind of just like, you can love someone, but that does not mean that you can trust them. I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Like, I feel like it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, I feel like if you've gone through a situation like that, like, it's hard to explain.
Also,
but
I
when
feel
you
like that's also like really important in relationships as well, because you could be in a relationship and be like, oh my gosh, like, like I love you so much, like, like whatever, like we're gonna be just together forever, and then like someone does something
like cheating,
yeah, like, and then like they're still together because it's like, oh, it's love, like it was just a mistake, but like, is it really love if there's no loyalty?
Like, I feel like sometimes I think it is, but I feel like sometimes you have to love people from a distance, because it's like, I know that sounds so sad, but like I feel like sometimes you do, because like,
that Taylor Swift song where it's like, I'll watch your life in pictures.
Stop, that song makes me cry every time. Oh my god, when they played that at Sweet 16s, I'm like on the floor and I'm like, no. I don't know. I think that loving from a distance sometimes is what needs to be done.
I think it's healthier. I think it's like the healthy.
Sometimes it is.
Especially, okay, this is kind of from personal experience. When like, if you're in like a little like situation where it's like the same thing is happening repeatedly and you keep going back to it, I think that's like, and you might like think like, oh my gosh, well no, because this is going to happen and this is going to change. But like sometimes what you really need to do is like stop and like take a few steps back, watch, and like see how much better you are without them in your life.
Yeah, and I feel like also like some things never change. Like there's just some things that
some
are
things
like,
stay the same. Some things are unchangeable.
Like
even
what
if
is
they
meant to be is will be. Like that was one of my points. It's just like
it's a thing. It's just it's a thing.
It's kind of like, I feel like there's some things that are like, the saying like written in the stars. I feel like there's some things you cannot get
down.
Stop. We have telepathy. There's some things that you just can't get rid of. Like there are things that are bound to happen. Like you can like fight to push stuff off, and you could be like, oh no, I don't want this to happen. But eventually, even if you prevent it and push it off for a period of time, it's gonna come back. Like if it is meant to happen, there's no getting rid of it. Like it'll find its way to come back around.
Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 4 of Just Thinking. I'm Lana.
And I'm Michaela. And also, thank you for listening to O Radio. We put the O in radio. Make sure to follow us on social media at O Radio OHS on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And Just Thinkin has its own special Instagram, so follow that.